Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to say thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to listen to this presentation today. My name is Chloe, and today I'll be discussing my proposal to integrate Code and Go robot mice into our classroom settings here at West Wallsend Public School. This has been brought on by the learning need of position recognised in our recent NAPLAN numeracy results. The hope is to improve our future results and better align ourselves with the 21st century skill of creativity. After looking through our most recent results for NAPLAN in Year 3 numeracy, can be seen that students are struggling with measurement and geometry, specifically when it comes to position. Students are struggling to use the creative side of their mathematical skills to experiment and find paths to landmarks. It is the intention of this initiative to provide students with the skills necessary for the 21st century skill of creativity. Through utilising fun and innovative methods of the Code and Go mouse, we aim to improve Stage 1 and Stage 2 student results in measurement and geometry, with an emphasis on position and coordinate geometry by offering them a fun alternative to the passive textbook and worksheet method. Okay, so as you can see at the moment, this is an outline, our mind map that I have produced for our Code and Go mice. You'll find all the information, any information that you require on this mind map. We're going to explore it further throughout this presentation. After investigating multiple different robots, including TTS Group's Bbot, I concluded that Learning Resources Code and Go mouse would best suit our needs. While both are fine examples of entry-level learning robots, the Code and Go mouse offers most of the features of the Bbot for a fraction of the cost. Its colourful and fun format appeals to younger students through its toy-like appearance. Unlike Bbot, each directional coding button on the back of the mouse is a different colour, giving students the opportunity to utilise colour patterns in their coding as well as the direction arrows. While it does not offer a rechargeable battery like the Bbot, the Code and Go mouse runs off 3 AAA batteries, meaning they are more likely to be used spontaneously during lessons they may apply to, as you are not required to charge them prior to the lesson time. This also in turn means less downtime between uses, as batteries can simply be replaced. Okay, now we're going to start referring back to our mind map. We're going to go and look at the pros and cons of the Code and Go mouse. Okay, so the mouse itself is a palm-sized unit that is easily coded using the buttons on its back. There are no other interfaces used for the coding of these mice, making them perfect for early stage 1 to early/mid stage 2 age groups, and do not rely on any Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to run. The mouse also comes with directional coding cards that allow students to visualize their coding algorithm prior to entering it into the system itself. You are able to purchase activity add-ons for the Code and Go mouse that allow you to build mazes and code to navigate your way around them to find the cheese at the other end of the maze. However, this is not needed for the robot to be functional. Once reaching the cheese, the mouse has a built-in sensor that will cause it to make a victory sound. The mouse is also programmed with 3 different action settings that will randomly rotate through if the action function is selected. Just like the Bbot, the Code and Go mouse is programmable up to 40 steps. Okay, going back to our mind map now, let's look at pricing for this unit. Okay, there are a few purchasing options available for these mice. My personal recommendation would be to purchase from MTA the bulk 12-pack of mice for $770 in conjunction with the classroom activity set, which includes 4 mice and 4 mazes for $549.95. As a total, our spend would be $1,319.95. But as you can see, there is also the opportunity to order the mice in singular units at a cost of $76.95. And you can also do a smaller bulk buy of these mice with 6 of the mice coming to $417.95. Okay, so considering this robot's intended purpose, there are minimal limitations. Some would argue that being battery operated could work against its favour. However, I believe that this is one of the saving graces in this model, as there is no downtime for a recharge period. Once batteries are swapped over, all lessons are able to continue. Other limitations include that it is only able to be programmed using the buttons on the robot, and it is only capable of basic movement functions. These limitations are actually why I think it is perfect for the children of this younger age group. Okay, so our current ways of teaching position content. Currently, our way of teaching position in measurement and geometry utilises written text on whiteboards, handouts, worksheets. This all falls into the PR category of our PICRAT table. We can amp up student understanding by providing them with a hands-on experience utilising this robotic technology. To assist in teacher explanations, we currently integrate technology through the use of the online application Mathletics. These lessons fall into the IA category, and while it is interactive for the students and it helps them work on the skills that has been taught to them in that lesson, it does not get them utilising the skills in a practical application. When we relate an activity like these back to our PICRAT framework, we can see that through a lesson such as this, we have instantly moved from PR status to CACT status. Students in this mode are no longer passive receivers of information. Instead, they are learning problem solving and troubleshooting as they complete their lesson, adapting and learning from their own experiences during the lesson. Okay, looking back to our mind map now, the syllabus outcomes we are addressing through this, we are looking at addressing the syllabus outcomes. MA2-1WM uses appropriate terminology to describe and symbols to represent mathematical ideas, as well as MA2-17MG uses simple maps and grids to represent position and follow routes, including compass directions. Okay. Now going back to look at our UDLs. Thinking in terms of our UDL, we would be meeting multiple outcomes in the mission to create expert learners. Through learning with Code and Go Mice, students are provided with a different form of engagement that recruits interest and optimises on learning autonomy. 7.1. Students are presented with the work in a different light, offering them a different method of comprehension. Through this method of comprehension, students are more likely to see patterns, ideas, and relationships between the provided information. 3.2. Using Code and Go Mice, students are afforded the ability to express their knowledge and ideas through content and code creation. Students are able to utilise their new knowledge through action instead of paper-based theoretical answers. 4.1. This ability to create using their acquired knowledge is a major milestone in the acquisition of creativity, our 21st century skill, as described by Toma Farapoulos and Luster. In summary, the integration of Code and Go Mice into our early Stage 1 and Stage 2 learning provides the opportunity to reinvigorate our measurement and geometry learning, but also affords us the opportunity to provide students with the skills to set them on a path to become effective learners. Students will not only acquire skills that will assess them in numeracy learning, but skills that are far-reaching across multiple subject areas into their careers, equipping them with the skills needed for the learning and working in the 21st century. Okay, so I'd like to thank you all for your time. For the next part of my presentation, I wish to address the school executive members. Okay, looking now towards how professional development would be implemented around this new technology and learning method. I understand that there are some staff who have opposed this idea, but I believe that with proper education they will soon see how this can easily be enacted within their teaching practices. I believe that in the beginning it is important to seek feedback from teachers on their current pedagogical knowledge, PK, and practices and what they have found to work best in their classroom lessons. I would like to survey the teachers on their understanding of technology, TK, and how well they feel they know the measurement and geometry syllabus content, CK. This will allow us to gain an understanding of where we should begin with our development. We will then look into our current ways of teaching the content and the most common ways we have found these subjects to be taught, PCK. Having identified the pedagogical format staff members are most confident with, we will work to create lesson plans that introduce robotics and integrate them into areas of passive learning. After this has occurred, we will run a masterclass for staff members over 2 days. The first day will consist of 2 halves. The first will focus on technological pedagogical knowledge, TPK, discussing what the integration of Code and Go mice within their teaching practice can look like and how it influences learning. The second will dive specifically into measurement and geometry and how the mice can be used to teach content in this unit, TCK. Content of the second day will surround the lesson plans themselves and how the integration will look specifically in our classrooms. This will present all 3 aspects of the TPAC framework. It will bring together their acquired technological knowledge as well as draw on their content and pedagogical knowledge. Thank you for listening, and I hope I am able to have been able to shed some light on how these how these robots can be used in the classroom. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.